Hello, welcome to Practical Dating Skills for the Modern World. This is part three. If you missed part one or part two, I highly recommend you go back and watch those videos. If you are single, the primary reason is probably that you haven't met the right person yet. I hear that all day long from people that they just haven't met the right person yet. So, one of the practical skills for modern dating is meeting people. And there are many different ways to meet people. So, yes, there are the online dating apps, and we'll talk about that. But we'll also talk about some of the other ways that people meet. So, stay tuned.
Baby, can we still shine? Tell me how will we find always still the love? What if they alright? Still shine. Tell me how will we find always still the love? What if they alright? Baby, can we?
Hello, I'm Whitney Kobrin, dating and relationship expert, and we are talking today about practical dating skills for the modern world. And one of the practical skills is how to meet people. So we can talk first about, well, actually, let's not talk about the dating apps first, because that's kind of everybody's go to right now. And I want to remind you that we live in a big wide world and we can actually meet people in other ways. So I'd like to start there. Um, one thing that we can do is go out with your friends, go out with your family. Um, Go out by yourself. Go out to a restaurant, a bar, a music venue, a museum, wherever you would enjoy. And if you're doing something that you enjoy, like I don't know, let's say you think about going to a motorcycle rally, but you don't like motorcycles, but you're like, "Well, there's going to be guys there, maybe I'll meet." Try to do things that you enjoy so that it can be a part of your well rounded life. When you're dating, it's great to be busy. It's great to have hobbies that you can talk about, events that you've gone to that you can talk about with people. You don't want to just be going on dates and that's it, and just going to meet people that you met online and have dinner, and that's the whole extent of your social interaction. That is going to set you up for failure on many fronts. One is it's not going to be very enjoyable for you and you'll get tired of it. And the other is that you're not going to be very interesting to people if they have a feeling that you don't have a life or don't have friends. We live in a very transient world now. So many people have close friends. I know my closest best friends all live halfway across the country in various states. And we if you have friends but they're not in your area, you can't actually go out with them, I highly recommend that you take some initiative to make some new friends. And this doesn't have to be as hard as it seems. One easy way to make friends is to use meetup.com or the app. I've been using that for over a decade. I've met some really great people through Meetup, and you can find things that interest you. There are singles meetups, and you can go there and meet other people that are single. But like I said, if you're doing things that you enjoy, find a meetup and do it with other people. So there's meetups for everything, for board games and chess, yoga and exercise, walking groups, running groups, events where you go to museums. So I highly recommend that you do that. There is an app that I am partnering with called Gather Social Dating, and this is just coming out now in the US. And it will be a dating app where you don't converse with the other people. Instead, everybody gets invited to an event. And so all the people that are in the area, we all come and we actually meet in person. And I think there's so much value in meeting in person. You get to see the person's energy, you get to feel the chemistry, you get to see if you're attracted to them in person and not just their filters. So get out there. And when you're out there, make sure that you're not head down, headphones on, looking at your phone. If you really want to meet people, um, keep your energy open. Have your eyes up, look around, smile at people. I promise you, it's not as hard as it seems. And everybody right now is yearning for connection. And so if you do the awkward thing and say, "Oh, hi, I haven't met you yet. My name's Whitney. What's your name?" You might feel awkward and weird, but the other person is going to appreciate that because they're not taking the initiative and being brave enough to do that. And if you start to do this on a regular basis, go out, talk to people, have an open energy, you finding your person doesn't always mean that you go to a cafe and you meet your person. Sometimes it means you meet a friend, and then this friend invites you to some other friend's event, and then you meet their friends, and bing, 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 all of a sudden you're meeting your future husband. I know this is what happened with me actually. I had been at a meetup, I made some friends, we started hanging out. I was at a party at their friend's house and I met my future husband, who I had actually met 5 years before, but we didn't stay in touch and we had totally forgotten about it until we met again at, I'll say a random friend's party. So, another thing that you can do is brainstorm about where your ideal partner will be. If you are sick of the online dating apps, sick of the lack of quality and all the crap that we deal with that, think about your ideal partner and then go places where they would be. So, would he be at a bike store? Maybe go to the local bike store and check it out, get to know the owner, um, go for bike rides. Maybe you'll meet somebody there. Going for a walk in the park. Um, I had one client tell me that she tends to like guys that like cigars. And so she started going to cigar bars and meeting people there. Your ideal partner, are they working from home at a Starbucks or a cafe? Are they going to the gym? Do they go to yoga? Do they go to martial arts? Try different things. And you can be creative. And I know I had one client that was new to an area. She got a free day pass at all the gyms in the area so that she could check out not only the gym and the facility, but the people there, right? There are some gyms that attract certain types of people. And if you're looking for a partner, if you're a woman, go to a gym where there's men. If you are a man, go to a gym where there's women there, right? It's just one way that you can meet people in person. Another practical dating skill is communication. This is a huge one, and many people right now are really struggling with how to communicate. So, we'll kind of go in order here of the progression of communication. So, oh, and we didn't talk a lot about the dating apps, but they're out there. You know they are. Tinder has a bad rep for being a hookup site, but it's also the app where most marriages start. So just be clear about what you're looking for. And using the online dating apps is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So don't get distracted by all the hay. If it's not for you, move on and don't take it personally. And that goes back to something I talked about in the previous episode about resilience and confidence and being strong on the inside so that you can be soft and vulnerable and open on the outside. So, in the online dating apps, when it comes to communication, the number one thing that I recommend for all women is to be playful. You've got to be playful. You've got to have a light-hearted attitude, or else you will get eaten up and destroyed on these apps because you don't know who's going to communicate with you and what they're going to say. And so somebody might say something like a silly question like, "What's the worst thing that you've ever done?" And if you're not feeling lighthearted and playful, then you're going to be like, why the hell would you ask me that? I can't believe the audacity of this person. Judging, criticizing. Where's your empathy? Where's your compassion? Where's your playfulness? You want to be able to banter and just have a light-hearted conversation. And obviously, that starts with yourself. You need to be able to be in a place with yourself where you feel comfortable and strong enough to be able to be playful. You don't have to be great at it. You don't have to be a stand up comedian. You don't have to make people laugh. Being lighthearted and open and fun is not telling jokes. It might be being able to take a joke. Um, so that's the first thing that I recommend with communication is be playful, be lighthearted. However, you can't be playful and lighthearted with everyone, and some people will be offensive or rude. And so you need to also have strong boundaries. And again, this is like being soft on the outside and strong on the inside. Know upfront what you're going to put up with and what you won't. And then when somebody crosses that boundary, you don't have to attack them. You don't have to say, why would you do that? Why? You don't have to say anything about what they're doing. All you have to say is your boundary. I don't communicate with people that ask me those questions. I'm not going to talk to somebody who's only looking for that. So you just have to be really clear about what your boundaries are. And as long as someone's not directly crossing over your boundary, play with it. Have fun, be silly. And you can also let people know your boundaries before they cross over them. And that's a big thing that I teach my clients because a lot of us, let's face it, we don't know what our boundaries are until they've been crossed. And if that's you, then we should really talk because you need to know what your boundaries are ahead of time. And as you're dating, those people will test your boundaries constantly. And if somebody tests you, it doesn't mean that you have to go, oh, swipe left. I can't believe them. I'm out of here. If they're testing your boundaries, then show them where the boundaries are. So, for example, if somebody says, well, I'd love to meet you. Great. Let's plan a date. Wonderful. Why don't you come to my house and I'll cook you dinner? You don't know them yet. So you don't have to be like, wow, what a jerk. I can't believe he's only looking for sex and he's this and that. And no, all you have to do is state your boundary. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go to anybody's house until I know them well. I'd be open to meeting at blah, blah, blah. So communication. Another way that we can communicate poorly is by blaming and pointing the finger at somebody, judging them, criticizing them, making them wrong. What we want to do instead is just simply tell them how we feel and what we need. And going back to the other episodes that I did about this embodiment and knowing your own feelings and needs is an important factor here because you won't be able to communicate that if you don't know it for yourself. So there are so many more tips that I could give you about communication, but we're going to keep it simple here. These are practical dating skills for the modern world. Be lighthearted and fun in your communication. Know where your boundaries are and speak them. And use I statements. I feel this, I need this, rather than you statements that can often trigger people's defensiveness and create conflict and fighting. Because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for love and connection and finding that needle in a haystack and getting out of the treadmill or hamster wheel of dating again and again and again, right? So I invite you to schedule a complimentary session with me where we can talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we're going to get you there. Because everybody deserves love, including you. See you next time.
Baby, can we still shine? Tell me that we'll be fine. Always